Welcome to Change Your Mind and Improve Your Life. These affirmations have been inspired by the topics of the other self, and the drifter as written about by Napoleon Hill. Drifters let themselves be tossed around in life and allow externals to dominate their minds. They go nowhere in life, because they're not using their brains to think, while the other self has been written about as a higher form of intelligence, which leads to success. Please take the time to click on the subscribe button. Let us begin. Most real failures are due to limitations which people set up in their own minds. Two entities occupy your body, as in fact two similar entities occupy the body of each living person. One of these entities is motivated by and responds to the impulse of fear. The other is motivated by and responds to the impulse of faith. There are only two bases from which we build our entire lives: faith and fear. If we do not have a definite purpose, we will become drifters. Time can make drifting negativity permanent. Time can also make positivity and wisdom permanent. Fear induces drifting. Start paying attention to this other self. How would the other self dress? How would the other self speak? Do not ignore, rather embrace the other self. So subtle and deeply rooted is the emotion of fear, that one may go through life burdened with it, never recognizing its presence. I will stay focused on faith and I will rid my mind of fear. I choose faith. You will discover that the cause of success is not something separate and apart from the man. The cause of success is a force so intangible in nature that the majority of men never recognize it, a force which might be properly called the other self. The other self is a voice that I will, from now on, recognize from within. The other self may meet with temporary defeat, but not with permanent failure. The other self can only be described as our true self, our soul, whatever you wish to describe it, and it takes over when everything seems futile. When all seems lost, and my back is against the wall, I will listen for the other self. The other self doesn't understand fear, negativity, doubt or insecurity, nor is it deterred by the ego. The other self only understands the will to not merely survive, but to seek ways to find out how to improve the situation. There is no right or wrong way, but there is a way. It is now time to be completely in charge of your other self. Two entities occupy your body, one is your other self. One of these entities is motivated by and responds to the impulse of fear. I will totally rid my body from fear. The other is motivated by, and responds to the impulse of faith. If you fail to control your own mind, you may be sure that you will control nothing else. I will take the time every day to sit in silence, and to increase my faith. For the sake of convenience, you may call this faith entity your other self. Your other self knows no limitations, has no fears, and recognizes no such word as impossible. The worst of all human ailments is indecision. I choose a definite purpose, a grand aspiration, a big goal, and I move towards it relentlessly. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. I believe in myself. Keep the doors to your mind tightly closed against all thoughts which seek to limit you in any manner whatsoever. The number one reason people fail in life is because they listen to their friends, family and neighbors. Drifting eventually turns into a hypnotic rhythm, which keeps people busy with trivialities, and over time, drifting becomes permanent. One sound idea is all that one needs to achieve success. I guard what enters the gates of my mind. Your other self will not do your work for you. It will only guide you intelligently in achieving for yourself the objects of your desires. Do not permit yourself to worry about the money. Money flows to me easily. Money is making its way into my bank account. First of all, you should know that the faith entity now in charge of your body performs no miracles, nor does it work in opposition to any of nature's laws. As long as the other self is in charge of your body, it will guide you when you call on it, through impulses of thought, which it will place in your mind. Above everything else, get this fact clearly fixed in your mind, that your other self will not do your work for you. I must think in the certain way and act in the certain way. Your other self will only guide you intelligently in achieving for yourself the objects of your desires. This other self will aid you in translating your plans into reality. Think of what you want and your desires will be summoned. Your other self will remain in charge and continue to direct you as long as you rely upon it. Discipline equals freedom. If you're driven by impulse all your life, you'll go nowhere, like a drifter. Keep doubt, fear and worry, and all thoughts of limitation, entirely out of your mind. I no longer possess any fear and worry. You will now begin to move of your own free will, precisely as you did before you discovered your other self. Enthusiasm is contagious, and the person who has it under control is generally welcome in any group of people. Physically you are the same as you have always been, therefore, no one will recognize that any change has taken place in you. I am the same as I have always been. I am simply tapping into a source of intelligence that I have not listened to in the past. The expression on my face has changed from one of doubt to one of courage and faith. I have undergone a new birth, by which I had been separated from all forms of fear. I now have courage, such as I have never before had. I had such absolute faith that the money would be forthcoming, that I could see it already in my possession. I act upon the instructions given to me from my other self. When I am frustrated, I take the time to rest and listen for my other self. I do know that there can be no permanent defeat for the man or the woman who discovers it and relies upon the other self. Failures are just failures. Failures are simply tools to correct the course of the path that I am walking upon. My other self presents solutions all the time. The other self follows no precedents, recognizes no limitations, and always finds a way to accomplish desired ends. My other self may meet with temporary defeat, but not with permanent failure. Few people discover within themselves this strange entity, which I have called my other self, and that discovery will lead them, as it has led me, into a closer relationship with that source of power, because the other self is faith. There is great power to be discovered in your other self. My other self allows me to see the solution to every problem. I must take the time to be in a quiet space to listen to my other self. The people who achieve the most are the ones that have met with temporary defeat. Who you hang out with matters. I choose my associates wisely, and choose my friends with even more precision. I repeat that I do not know exactly what this other self is, but I know enough about it to lean upon it in a spirit of absolute faith in times of difficulty. Since this other self took charge of me, I have come by useful knowledge, which I am sure I never would have discovered while my old fear entity was on the throne. For one thing, I have learned that those who meet with difficulties, which seem insurmountable may, if they will do so, best overcome these difficulties by forgetting them for a time and helping others who have greater problems. I seriously doubt that any man can avail himself of the benefits of his other self as long as he is steeped in greed, avarice, envy, and fear. I have banished greed, avarice, envy, and fear from my life. As long as I remain on good terms with my other self, I shall be able to acquire every material thing that I need. My other self has taught me to concentrate upon my purpose and to forget about the plan by which it is to be attained when I go to prayer. Failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one when success is almost within reach. I know nothing about any form of prayer, which can be induced to work favorably in a mind that is colored, in the slightest degree, by fear. Now I go to prayer before difficulty overtakes me, when possible. I now pray, not for more of this world's goods and greater blessings, but to be worthy of that which I already have. Infinite intelligence seems not at all offended when I give thanks and show that I am grateful for the blessings which have crowned my efforts. I now offer a prayer of thanks for what I already possess. I am amazed to discover what a vast fortune I own without being appreciative of it. I discovered that I possess a sound body, which has never been seriously damaged by illness. I was blessed with all the freedom I desired, in both body and mind. I possessed an imperishable desire to help others who were less fortunate. I discovered that happiness, the highest aim of mankind, was mine for the taking, business depression or no business depression. I discovered that I had the privilege of approaching infinite intelligence, either for the purpose of offering thanks for what I already possessed, or to ask for more, and for guidance. I take inventory of my intangible assets every day. Now is the perfect time to become familiar with your other self. Nature shows us that success is built on habits. A successful day follows a good night's rest. A productive summer follows a restful winter. I must become more in tune with how the universe, and my own body function at the highest productive frequency. I can predict that every person, including myself, can change their material possessions, by changing beliefs. I do not confuse the word wish with the word belief. A state of mind is something that one assumes. It cannot be purchased, it must be created. The element of faith is what changes a wish into a belief. The other self focuses on the dominating thoughts or pronounced desires. Faith is the beginning of all great achievement. Nothing within reason is impossible to the person who knows and relies upon his other self. Whatever a person believes to be true, has a way of becoming true. A prayer is a released thought, sometimes expressed in audible words and at other times expressed silently. I know nothing about any form of prayer, which can be induced to work favorably in a mind that is colored, in the slightest degree, by fear. I now pray, not for more of this world's goods and greater blessings, but to be worthy of that, which I already have. Every individual has the power to change his or her material or financial status, by first changing the nature of his or her beliefs. I have observed also, that one's state of mind is the determining factor when prayer works, as well as when it does not. The state of mind, known as faith, apparently opens to one the medium of a sixth sense through which one may communicate with sources of power, and information far surpassing any available through the five physical senses. I have observed by experience, that a silent prayer is as efficacious as the one which is expressed in words. I have observed also that one's state of mind is the determining factor when prayer works, as well as when it does not. My conception of the other self, which I have tried to describe, is that it merely symbolizes a newly discovered approach to infinite intelligence, an approach which one may control and direct through the simple process of mixing faith with one's thoughts. There comes to your aid, and to do your bidding, with the development of the sixth sense, a strange power which, let us assume, is a guardian angel who can open to you at all times the door to the temple of wisdom. This much I do know: there is a power or a first cause, or an intelligence which permeates every atom of matter. I have, for many years, followed the habit of taking personal inventory of myself once a year, for the purpose of determining how many of my weaknesses I have bridged or eliminated, and to ascertain what progress, if any, I had made during the year. It's after the heavy rains begin to subside, and the sun starts to shine through, when a rainbow forms. Life is learning. Life is growing. If you do ever face a serious challenge, being aware you may be introduced to your other self, I hope will give you some inspiration to get through it all, and ask yourself, what am I learning from this? You will learn more about how to succeed from the failures than you will from the so-called successes. Failures will teach you what not to do. Opportunity has a sly habit of slipping in by the back door, and often it comes disguised in the form of misfortune, or temporary defeat. So-called failure usually is nothing more than a signal to rearm yourself with a new plan or purpose. Most real failures are due to limitations, which people set up in their own minds. Without doubt, the most common weakness of all human beings is the habit of leaving their minds open to the negative influence of other people. Every adversity brings with it a seed of equal advantage. If they had the courage to go one step further, they would discover their error. Most real failures are due to limitations, which men set up in their own minds. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. When I took action by leaving a situation that, although financially rewarding, was no longer aligned with my personal mission, new doors of opportunity opened for me. The worst of all human ailments is indecision. With the current economic uncertainties, people are choosing, or being forced, to find new paths to provide for themselves and their families, and many will find great success. They will be the great stories of success we will be reading about in a few years from now. Will you be among those success stories or still watching from the sidelines? I will be successful. Every great leader of the past, whose record I have examined, was beset by difficulties and met with temporary defeat before arriving. I have learned that those who meet with difficulties, which seem insurmountable may, if they will do so, best overcome these difficulties by forgetting them for a time, and helping others who have greater problems. My other self has taught me to concentrate upon my purpose, and to forget about the plan by which it is to be attained, when I go to prayer. The power which translates one's thoughts or desires into realities, has its source in an infinite intelligence, which knows more about plans, than the one doing the praying. The 6 most effective fears are the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. Habits come in pairs, triplets, and quadruplets. Any habit which weakens one's willpower invites a flock of its relatives to move in and take possession of the mind. My greatest weapon over human beings consists of 2 secret principles by which I gain control of their minds. I will speak first of the principle of habit, through which I silently enter the minds of people. By operating through this principle, I establish the habit of drifting. A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind. Any habit which causes one to procrastinate, to put off reaching a definite decision, leads to the habit of drifting. Laziness plus indifference equals procrastination, which equals drifting. People who think for themselves never drift, while those who think little or not on their own are known as drifters. Minds of people are controlled solely because of their habit of drifting, which is only another way of saying that the minds of people are controlled only because they neglect or refuse to control and use their own minds. Drifting is the most common cause of failure in every walk of life. The first thing you will notice about a drifter is his total lack of a major purpose in life. The drifter will be conspicuous by his lack of self-confidence. I have self-confidence. The drifter will never accomplish anything requiring thought and effort. All of my goals will be accomplished, and each requires thought and effort. The drifters spend all they earn and more too, if they can get credit. The drifter will be sick or ailing from some real or imaginary cause, and calling to high heaven if they suffer the least physical pain. Drifters will have little or no imagination. I employ my imagination in building the life that I desire. The drifter will lack enthusiasm and initiative to begin anything they are not forced to undertake, and they will plainly express their weakness by taking the line of least resistance whenever they can do so. I am an enthusiastic person. The drifter will be ill-tempered, and lacking in control over emotions. The drifter's personality will be without magnetism and it will not attract other people. The drifters will have opinions on everything but accurate knowledge of nothing. I observe others and keep my opinions to myself. The drifter may be jack of all trades but good at none. I am an expert within my field. He will neglect to cooperate with those around him, even those on whom he must depend for food and shelter. He will make the same mistake over and over again, never profiting by failure. I recognize that failure is useful data that will assist us in success. A drifter will be narrow-minded, and intolerant on all subjects, ready to crucify those who may disagree with him. I am a patient person who learns from each person that I come in contact with. I am open to other people's opinions and ideas. I am not narrow-minded. The drifter will expect everything of others, but they will be willing to give little or nothing in return. I am a leader. I expect more from myself than any other person. Drifters may begin many things, but they will complete nothing. Drifters will be loud in his condemnation of his government, but he will never tell you definitely how it can be improved. I seldom uncover my own opinions, and criticize other people. The drifter will never reach decisions on anything if he can avoid it, and if he is forced to decide, he will reverse himself at the first opportunity. I make decisions every day and I am principle-centered. Drifters will eat too much and exercise too little. I eat to alleviate hunger, and I exercise every day. He will take a drink of liquor if someone else will pay for it. I do not invite losing control of myself. Drifters will gamble if he can do it, on the cuff. I am not reckless with my money. Drifters will criticize others who are succeeding in their chosen calling. I do not criticize other people. In brief, the drifter will work harder to get out of thinking than most others work in earning a good living. He will tell a lie rather than admit his ignorance on any subject. I recognize my limitations. If the drifter works for others, the drifter will criticize them to their backs and flatter them to their faces. Protection against drifting lies within easy reach of every human being who has a normal body and a sound mind. The self-defense can be applied through simple methods. I do my own thinking on all occasions. Decide definitely what you want from life. Analyze temporary defeat, no matter of what nature or cause, and extract from it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Be willing to render useful service equivalent to the value of all material things you demand of life, and render the service first. Recognize that your brain is a receiving set that can be attuned to receive communications from the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence. Recognize that your greatest asset is time, the only thing except the power of thought which you own outright, and the one thing which can be shaped into whatever material things you want. Budget your time so none of it is wasted. Recognize the truth that fear generally is a filler, with which the devil occupies the unused portion of your mind. It is only a state of mind which you can control by filling the space it occupies with faith in your ability to make life provide you with whatever you demand of it. I pray every day. Recognize that life is a cruel taskmaster and that either you master it, or it masters you. There is no halfway or compromising point. Never accept from life anything you do not want. Remember that your dominating thoughts attract, through a definite law of nature, by the shortest and most convenient route, their physical counterpart. Be definite in everything you do and never leave unfinished thoughts in the mind. Form the habit of reaching definite decisions on all subjects. Undesirable habits can be broken. Habits must be broken before they assume the proportions of rhythm. Any thought or physical movement, which is repeated over and over through the principle of habit, finally reaches the proportion of rhythm. Then the only way a human being can be saved from eternal annihilation is by maintaining control over their own mind while they are on this earth. Nature uses hypnotic rhythm to make one's dominating thoughts and one's thought habits permanent. The man who forms the habit of drifting through life must accept whatever life hands him. Back of every reality is a cause. Nature knows no such law as luck. It is a man-made hypothesis with which he explains away things he does not understand. Non-drifters do not wait for opportunity to be placed in their way. They create opportunity to fit their desires and demands of life. There is no reason why a non-drifter would want to avoid the influence of hypnotic rhythm, because that law is favorable to him. It helps him convert his dominating aims, plans, and purposes into their physical replicas. It fixes his habits of thought and makes them permanent. Hypnotic rhythm is something to be studied, understood, and voluntarily applied to attain definite desired ends. The person who thinks in terms of power, success, opulence, sets up a rhythm, which attracts these desirable possessions. The person who thinks in terms of misery, failure, defeat, discouragement, and poverty attracts these undesirable influences. Both success and failure are the result of habit. Habit establishes one's rhythm of thought, and that rhythm attracts the object of one's dominating thoughts. All successful people use hypnotic rhythm, either consciously or unconsciously, by expecting and demanding success. The demand becomes a habit, hypnotic rhythm takes over the habit, and the law of harmonious attraction translates it into its physical equivalent. Once any person hesitates, procrastinates, or becomes indefinite about anything, they are just one step removed from drifting. People fall into drifting by filling the mind with greed for power and the love of egotistical expression, until the individual falls into the habit of violating the rights of others. Love can lead into the habit of drifting those whom I could attract with nothing else. Show me what any person loves most and I will have my cue as to how that person can be induced to drift until I bind him with hypnotic rhythm. Love is a desirable state of mind, but it also is a palliative which may be used to limit or destroy reason and willpower. People who gain power must harden their emotions, master fear, and subdue love. Definiteness of purpose plus definiteness of plan by which the purpose is to be achieved generally succeeds, no matter how weak the plan may be. The major difference between a sound and an unsound plan is that the sound plan, if definitely applied, may be carried out more quickly than an unsound plan. Through the operation of the law of compensation, everyone reaps that which he sows. Anyone who submits to annoyance by things he does not want is not definite. He is a drifter. The first duty of every human being is to himself. Every person owes himself the duty of finding how to live a full and happy life. Teach the students how to budget and use time, and above all teach the truth that time is the greatest asset available to human beings and the cheapest. By mastering the three appetites responsible for most of one's lack of self-discipline, we can start to take control of our success. The three appetites are, the desire for food, the desire for expression of sex, the desire to express loosely organized opinions. The only permanent thing in the universes is change. Nature will not tolerate idleness. Time is the friend of the person who trains his mind to follow positive thought habits and the enemy of the person who drifts into negative thought habits. The majority of people who acquire wisdom do so after they have passed the age of 40. Adversity and failure. These are nature's universal languages through which she imparts wisdom to those who are ready to receive it. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point from which an individual may establish his own environment. The man with the most definite plan and purpose and the most power rides on to victory. One's dominating desires can be crystallized into their physical equivalents through definiteness of purpose backed by definiteness of plans, with the aid of nature's law of hypnotic rhythm and time. Setbacks happen to the best of us. But those setbacks can quickly turn into lasting indecisiveness. Find your definiteness of purpose. Create a definite plan. Engage the aid of nature's law of hypnotic rhythm. Always act. But always think before you act. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul, because I have the power to control my thoughts. Many people drift in the subject of health. Little or no children are taught how to eat properly. I guard my mind and also my body. I pay attention to my diet. An intangible impulse of thought can be transmuted into its physical counterpart. When defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound, rebuild those plans, and set sail once again toward your coveted goal. No one ever is defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. Wishing will not bring riches. But desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches, and backing those plans with persistence which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. One must realize that all who accumulated great fortunes, first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing, desiring, and planning before they acquired money. Our only limitations are those we set up in our own minds. A burning desire to be, and to do is the starting point from which all dreamers must take off. Dreams are not born of indifference, laziness, or lack of ambition. Handicaps can be converted into stepping stones on which one may climb towards some worthy goal, unless they are accepted as obstacles, and used as alibis. There is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing, until he believes he can acquire it. Mind control is the result of self-discipline and habit. You either control your mind or it controls you. There is no halfway compromise. If you are influenced by the opinions of others, you will have no desire of your own. Too many people refuse to set high goals for themselves, or even neglect selecting a career, because they fear the criticism of relatives and friends who may say, "Don't aim so high, people will think you are crazy." We learn more about how to succeed from failures. The other self is a source of peace of mind and great personal satisfaction. Each individual has the power to change their material or financial status, by changing, above all, the nature of their beliefs. Faith remains the only power capable of translating a wish into belief, and a belief into reality. I have $1 million mindset. I work smarter rather than harder. I am continuously looking for opportunities in my life. I write down my goals. I am a disciplined person. I provide value that is worth millions of dollars. I have $1 million lifestyle. I attract massive amounts of money. My mind is broadcasting millionaire thoughts. I see myself in lavish abundance. I earn millions of dollars every single year. I am worth millions of dollars. I have a millionaire's mind. I think like a millionaire, and act like a millionaire. I allocate time and make accurate judgments about people. I think of success, not failure. I believe in myself. I am well organized, and I plan my success. I am a person of faith, and I believe in myself. I am motivated and persistent when going for my goals. I always think big. I have $1 million work ethic. I create a new and rich future. I have the mind of a millionaire. Everything I see, I can have. I am committed to constantly learning and growing. I deserve to be wealthy. It is part of who I am. There is more than enough for everyone. I am so happy and grateful that I now have $1 million income. I will keep pushing until I achieve massive success. I choose to be a millionaire. I always think in terms of millions of dollars. I create my desired level of financial success. I attract wealth to me from all directions. Every day, in every way, I am becoming more and more wealthy. People benefit from my wealth and abundance. I release all negative associations to money and always look for the positive. I allow wealth to flow into my life. I am an intuitive and also creative person. I am highly motivated and productive. I am grateful for the wealth that is inside me. Becoming a millionaire is easy, if I believe. I will keep moving forward no matter what. My mind is becoming totally focused on making money. I have a millionaire mindset. I feel gratitude for the life I have. I am mentally strong. I see setbacks as opportunities to learn. It is easy to earn $1 million, doing what I love. Because I am passionate about my work, it is easy to stay positive going the extra mile. I am always visualizing $1 million lifestyle. Being wealthy is a part of who I am. I am a millionaire. It easily earned millions of dollars. I deserve to be wealthy. It is my birthright. My mind is attuned to becoming a millionaire. I continuously feed my mind information concerning my chosen business. I know that millionaires think in a certain way. I see wealth, abundance, and prosperity everywhere I go. I work to create massive wealth for myself. Financial opportunities are always there for me. I think in a certain way. I am always conceiving $1 million ideas. I love my $1 million lifestyle. The confidence needed to succeed is within me. I have an intense drive to be rich and successful. My money is working for me. I see myself as a multi-millionaire. My $1 million goals are always manifesting. I have enough money to share and to spare. I think big, and get big results. I act in a certain way. I think in the millionaire way. I am a creative person. I am connected to everything I need. I choose to adopt new ways of thinking about money. The thought of finances brings me happiness. I am able to buy anything I wish. I focus on building my net worth. I have the ability to accumulate everything I need to support all my goals.